have any music out there. They've memorized four pieces of music, and about 35 pages worth of drill. So a lot of information that we stuffed in their head this week here, and I don't think you'll see too many mistakes, actually. What we do the first thing in the morning is to get them thinking and get them going and everything like that. So the first thing we do is some stretches. That's you guys. And we usually play them some peppy music on the speaker system to wake them up a little bit. Mr. Calkins' favorite is the Carpenters. You know, we're what's called a high-step marching band, which means we lift the legs up, as opposed to what most high school bands are doing now, which they call a core style, where it's not technically walking, but it looks like walking to the untrained eye. This is a whole lot more physical, and so we want to make sure that those legs are stretched out and we don't have any injuries. Also, Fair Parade Camp, a lot of that is just conditioning for that parade, and having to march like this for 45 minutes without your legs ever stopping. That takes some conditioning. I don't want to just take them out there day one and march that whole thing. So it's a physical thing too. Some have problems standing on one foot. By the way, when you leave today, if you go to the dorm, don't take the street straight south of there. It's a dead end. You either have to go back to Cottage, which is probably where most of you came in, turning at McDonald's over there, or you can go down this street here. But the one right down the middle that goes right through the campus, and it looks like at one point or another they just closed the street and made the campus go across there. The buses dropped us off Monday morning, and I forgot to tell them that, and they drove into that, and then they had to turn 2 buses around and come back out and go another way. So, saved you that problem. Okay, looks like they're about stretched out. Next thing we do is a marching drill every morning. To be able to do these formations, you have to be able to measure your step size to make everything come out right. And one of the basic things we work on is what we call 8 to 5. 8 steps to 5 yard lines. Take one from 1 yard line to the other, it takes 8 steps. And basically we start and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? We make sure that they lock in that feel, because when you're marching this way, there's nothing to gauge it on, but yet you have to have that step size consistent. Then we also divide it into what we call a half step, or 16 to 5, going forward, and then also going backward. And we want to, again, lock in that step size so that they have something to refer to. It's kind of like throwing free throws. The more you put, the more accurate you get. So every morning, we would do this drill up and maybe sometimes down the field. We aren't going to go the whole length today, but just give you an example of what we do. So here we go, gang. Up and down, up the field. tail half and hit, just as kind of a clue to everyone. They're supposed to hit the yard line if they're halfway between. Then they're going back half steps. Forward 8 full steps. Forward 16 full steps. They have to, it's like shifting gears in the car. And then back 16 again. And then we just keep repeating that over and over. Besides locking in the step size, they're also working on lifting the legs high enough. Also working on instrument carriage, trumpets, mellophones, trombones, flutes, parallel to the ground. And also working on the peripheral vision of the line, making sure the line stays straight. They have to keep that line in their vision. Not only the step size, but using your sideways vision to keep in line. And it looks a whole lot better than it did on Monday. This is one thing we worked on in that building there for a while. You see, we've got some of our instructors out here in the white shirts. I would be out there too, yelling at them, get in line, lift your legs, left, 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 as Christy sang in her song. Mark time, mark! Say, hey! So, yeah, come ahead. Section leaders, come to Katie. You're going to hold it. Section leaders. Oops. You got to tap it once in a while in case it goes blank. Now we're going to tune. So we hopefully sound good. So we have the section leaders come forward, one of each, the best player of each section. Tune them to a tuner, and then they'll go back and tune their section. Try to give as much responsibility to them as possible in this area. That's, you know, what education's about. Give them the tools, and then let them do it. Piccolos are hard to get in tune. It's the little tiny flute. There's an old musician's joke. How do you tune 2 piccolos? You shoot one. We don't do that. Oh, you know, I really tried to go through the whole week without making a mistake, but I just did. Usually we warm up before we tune. But we're going to do our music warm-up right now. Short little stuff here. Bend, arms up. Instructors off the field. Okay, ready for fast carry entrance on the back sideline. When we work on the marching drill, like the first song, Magical Mystery Tour, Lady Madonna's, the squad leaders get charts, which is a group of 4 people. Upperclassmen gets the pages, and it shows the formations and how to go from one to the other. And Lady Madonna is 12 pages long. So what we'll do, and it usually coordinates with a phrase in the music. So what we'll do is first, we'll have them figure out where they're going, and they go there and they look at it, and then I say, okay, go back to where you came from. And then we march through it just by count. A lot of times it's 16 counts or 24 counts or 32 counts. Then we march to that and check it, and if it's not quite right, we do it a couple more times to get everyone in the right place. And then I have the music on my iPod, and we play to the march to the recording. That way they get the music cues in their head, and then because they can't count really well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, while they're playing. So they listen to music cues. And then eventually we play and march that segment, and then we go on to the next one. And we do the same thing over. We do a couple of those, and we go back to the beginning, and we put them all together. And it's kind of a learn by rote, but they do a lot of the figuring. One of the biggest things about reading a chart is it's map reading. It's coordinates, which people don't do anymore these days. They don't read maps. They have GPS, but it's an important thing. They have to look at this and go, okay, I'm here, and I need to be over there. And they figure out where they are. So it's an abstract concept that they learn, and a lot of times the other members of the squad, they're kind of eager to see what this is and figure it out, and they know that once they become a junior or senior, they'll be a squad leader, and they want to be able to do it. So they kind of teach each other how to do it too. So it's kind of neat. You know, this fast carry entrance that we do is quite unique. As far as we know, we're the only ones in the state of Michigan besides Michigan State University that uses this entrance. And that's because we stole it from them. And that happened well before I came to Monroe, and when I came, we just kept it because it's so unique. Michigan State actually developed it for their first Rose Bowl appearance way back years ago. The band members came to the band director and said, we want to do something different and flashy coming on the field. Some of the other college bands do some things, and we want to do something too. So the students themselves actually came up with these moves here. And over the years, they've kind of perfected it. And I know Mr. Madden, the director of the Spartan Marching Band, he's got it down to a science. He used to come out and teach us to us. He would say, okay, up in your toes, balance your toes, and this sort of stuff. And he'd have a whole hour-long presentation on teaching it. And so they really break it down into a science nowadays. And so we're real proud to do it. We've been having, since Spring Arbor here, they don't want to come down from Michigan State, so we've had our recently graduated drum major come back and be the person to teach it. And Ashley's back there, she just waved at me. She came over Wednesday and taught it to everybody and did a really nice job. So it'll look good. So, we're ready for our show. Let me get off the field, get my announcements, and we're ready. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the 2014-2015 Monroe High School Children's Marching Band. And Beatlemania hit the United States. Yes, it was 50 years ago that the Fab Four began their reign as the most influential group of the rock era. John, Paul, George, and Ringo made the Beatles a household name. We start our show with three of their hits: Here Comes the Sun, Magical Mystery Tour, and Lady Madonna.
1, 2, 3, 4.
by the way, the sunglasses are compliments of Spring Arbor University. This next piece was important in the Beatles' evolution from a pop live performance band to a more experimental group. Recorded in 1966, here is Eleanor Rigby.
Jump, up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Showing their versatility, here are two of their more melancholy pieces. Featuring trumpet soloist Alexis Reynolds, here is Blackbird, and the song voted as the #1 pop song of all time by MTV and Rolling Stone magazine, Yesterday.
Bend forward, up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
couple of notes here, what's going to happen. Once the band leaves, they're going to march down the field towards the road over there to your left, march around the track, head over to the field house, but then march out to the road again and actually do a little parade down the road, I think that's 2nd Street, and end up in front of the dorm. So if you want to go out to the road and watch them march by or meet them at the dorm, that's fine. It's very important, if you are taking your child with you in your car, that we have a note stating that. And give that note to one of the chaperones or instructors, it's the people with the white shirts. If we load up, we take roll and so-and-so isn't on the bus and we don't have a note, and we don't know where they are, and we can't leave till we figure that out. So very important that we get that note from you if you're taking them. And you're more than welcome to take them. That's just less people I have to worry about on the way home. So, instructors for the Trojan Marching Band are percussion, Eric Hawkins, marching and music, Greg Prasadis, Ryan Jewell, Elizabeth Stewart, and Katie Greer, and majorettes, Nicole Geyer. Assistant director is Mr. Chris Morelli, and the director is Mr. James Nicterline. The Trojan Marching Band would like to thank all the staff here at Spring Arbor, and especially Terry Reeves, coordinator of conference services, for all her help and support this week. We look forward to many more years of band camp at Spring Arbor University. And a special thank you to all you parents who have supported your child's interest in music. This is what it's all about right here. Thank you.